What's up you guys, I'm Dan, this is Frugal Not Cheap, and my Tesla just keeps getting better. Man, time really flies. In early October of last year, I put together a video called My Tesla Keeps Getting Better, something like that. And I can't believe it's been over a year now. And of course, there have been a lot of new features that have been added. So I got thinking about this recently because I got a pretty awesome new feature delivered to my car. And this is something that just doesn't happen, right? Like my friend's got a Honda Accord. I think it's an amazing car, right? They're bulletproof, they last forever. But you don't get over-the-air new capabilities for your Honda Accord, right? It's just not something that's going on right now. Whereas with my Tesla, it has dramatically improved in its capabilities since I got it. So I thought it'd be fun. Let's go over some of the improvements that we've seen in Teslas over the last year. And actually the full gamut of improvements is a bit wider. I have what's called a Legacy Model S. It's a 2017 model. And so it doesn't get a lot of the features that the Model 3 and the Model Y have. I'm not sure exactly when they put these features out, but one of them is that on the app you can remotely monitor what the cameras in the car are seeing. It's like a remote Sentry view. That's something that is not available on my car. I don't know why. I'm sure they could just add that. The car also can't close the windows on its own, so it's not able to do things like the automatic car wash mode, and there's a few other things. My car doesn't do a dance either, I don't think. Oh, and my car also doesn't show the blind spots. With the newer cars, when you hit the turn signal, it'll show up a little video of what the repeater is seeing so that you can check your blind spot before you make a lane change. Not that big of a deal because in the Model S and the Model X, we have the instrument cluster display, which shows you that stuff anyway, so whatever, I think we're just fine. So that being said, I did get a lot of improvements to my vehicle still. One of the first ones might not seem like a big deal, but this is in 2021.36. So 2021 is the year, then the next number after the first period is going to be the week number, roughly. And then after that is just kind of point releases for updates. But that gives you an idea of when the release came out. So this was around week 36 of 2021 is when they put it together. I didn't actually get it until October, of course, so after my video came out. So this one allowed you with the mobile app to activate some more of the climate control stuff. Specifically, one of them is a bioweapon defense mode, so I can now activate that with the app, and that's something that I couldn't do before that update. Also, with that 2021.36 update, we got what's called blended braking. When the system wasn't warm enough to do regenerative braking, then it would just use the regular physical brakes, and it would kind of switch between the two, but it would never really blend them together very well. So what they did in this update is for times when you can't use when the regenerative braking is not enough to bring the car to a stop, then it also blends in the regular braking, and it does it in a smoother way. So this is an update that happened. I never really noticed, but probably, yeah, the stops have been smoother ever since. And then this is really cool. Just the fact that a car over the air can get an update that allows it to do a whole new thing. The Tesla Model S had always been able to parallel park itself, so that was pretty cool. With this update, then it got the ability to perpendicular park. In other words, as you're driving by some parking spots, so let's say you got parking spots, and you're driving up and you're going slowly, it will be able to then identify a parking spot. You can put it in reverse and it'll reverse itself into the spot, which is really neat. Then with the week 40 update, this is 2021.40, we got the ability to transfer a phone call to your vehicle from your phone. So that was a nice thing as you're getting in. If you had a phone call on your phone, easy, quick way just to move it over to the vehicle. It shows up on screen there. Then another one that was really helpful and something that people have been really asking Elon a lot for, including at one of the events, and this was for waypoints.
And then we've got an all new UI. So really want waypoints. Okay, does everybody here want waypoints? All right, fine, we'll do waypoints. God damn it. All right.
Because as it stood, you could only set one navigation destination at a time. Now you can actually put stops along the way. And then another big one with 2021.40 was the availability to stream using the Tidal service. So we already had Spotify, we had TuneIn and Slacker, and then they added Tidal. which if you're on Wi-Fi, you can actually stream it in hi-fi and high fidelity. You can also then download the songs. If you play them over Wi-Fi, they'll download onto the MCU hard drive. Then you can play them in hi-fi when you're driving along, even without the connection later on. I think it still needs to connect briefly, but like once you get going, you're fine. But the problem with that is you only get 16 gigabytes of space roughly on the MCU to store those high quality media files. So that's not very much. My library is definitely bigger than that. And then on top of that, I don't have a mobile hotspot, so I wish that we could stream over LTE the hi-fi sound. If that happened, then I'd probably get a Tidal subscription and do the hi-fi streaming that way. Because I have free premium connectivity on my Tesla, that's I think $10 a month for people that don't have that free for their lifetime like mine car came with. But for now, it's a lot cheaper. Just I buy M4A files from the iTunes Music Store from Apple. They're high quality. I put them on a solid state drive and play from USB, and the sound quality is amazing. Still though, cool that they added Tidal for people in 2021.40. Then in week 44, we got the infamous holiday update. I did make a little video about that at the time, but this was version 11, supposed to bring a whole lot of new features and really kind of revamp the UI. Well, it certainly did that. We got a customizable app launcher, so this was the really big thing. But they made some mistakes where you might want some things to always be visible that they didn't put there on the nav bar. Later on with future updates, they allowed you to put those things there so you could keep an eye on them. Things like, oh, I don't know, maybe whether or not the defrost is on or the seat heaters, right? So yeah, that was kind of silly. They made some mistakes with the first launch of this thing. At that time though, they also improved the way that you could edit waypoints, and they started basically I think they started feeling more confident about FSD, and this is kind of funny because it was a year ago, and well, they've been very confident about FSD, at so many points on and off since 2016. But anyway, they started integrating more and more features into your driver profile, and then they transferred that to a cloud-based profile. Basically, the idea here is that you could then go into any Tesla and then, log in, and then it would remember everything about you. So this would work really well once they have a robotaxi fleet. Hopefully they get this worked out so that you can do it when you rent like a car from Hertz or something. It'll remember all of your settings, including all of your logins for all of your media and all that stuff, which is pretty cool. So in 2021.44, the parts that they integrated into your profile were your home and your work locations, and then also those media player logins. Oh no, the media player logins came in a following update early in 2022. This was 2022.16. I'm skipping ahead though, there was one other cool thing that came out with the version 11 update, and that was Sonic the Hedgehog. I did get a little game controller and I did get to play a little bit of Sonic. I'm not very good at it, but it is kind of neat that I can do that. If I'm on a road trip and I need to stop and supercharge, play a little Sonic while we're killing some time. Now let's get into 2022, and here we got one that's just kind of a vanity thing. This was 2022.2.1. We got the ability to change the color of the car in the UI. So for me, it would be an instrument cluster. I could change the color of, my car in there, which seems kind of silly. I'd rather just keep it to the color that the car really is. But if you were to get a wrap or something like that, I could see this being helpful because then you could change the color to match your wrap or your new paint job or whatever you did. The other nice benefit that we got around that time in 2022.4.5 was the ability to turn off some audio sources. So like I don't use Tidal and I don't use Spotify, so being able to toggle those off so that they're just not cluttering up the options was a nice little thing to get. In week 12, so 2022.12, we finally got the defrost button figured out. We finally fixed the issue with not being able to see whether your car was defrosting or not without opening up the climate control menu, and they allowed you to put those defrost buttons to the bottom bar, which of course I did immediately. Also with that update in week 12, we got a new streaming service. So we'd already had Hulu and Netflix and Twitch and all this stuff, YouTube. So the one that was added was Disney Plus. I subscribed for that. I got it for free from my American Express Platinum card for a little while. And yeah, there was just nothing good on there for me to watch. I mean, old stuff, yeah, great catalog, but really no new shows that I was interested in. So, just not for me. Around that time, week 12, I think it was a point release following that, and it's not a documented change, but they did improve the browser, so they built it off of a new version of Chromium. It does seem snappier and seems to work a heck of a lot better, especially, well, actually the browser was pretty broken at one point where I'd open it up and it would basically just crash every time, and now the browser is actually working. Then a few weeks later, in week 20, we got a pretty big one. And this is kind of crazy. This is something that another car maker would probably, you'd never see this happen. My car stopped using part of its hardware. So they found that they were able to train Tesla Vision so well, using the cameras to do all the driving, that actually the radar, because my car does have some radar, forward-looking radar in the front bumper, was actually causing more noise than signal in terms of the processing. It just wasn't any use. And so they actually shut that off and they transitioned my car over fully to Tesla Vision. So yeah, that was pretty crazy, and I didn't notice any immediate change. It seemed just as good as always, if not better. It's kind of hard to notice those things when you don't drive very much. I don't drive all that much, and I don't get on the highway all that much, but certainly I didn't experience any more phantom braking, if anything less, and everything seemed to work just fine. In week 28, we got a small one, which actually will be really nice for when I'm on a road trip or something like that. Before, when you were watching something on a full screen media, so if you were watching like a Netflix movie or show, or watching YouTube on a full screen, it was kind of tricky to get out of that scene and kind of slow. And so they improved that with a way to minimize full screen theater mode, and it's just a little bit of a snappier performance there. So I'm happy with that change. So as you can see, quite a few, some little, some big updates over the last year, all these improvements or changes to the car. And again, this is a car that was built in September of 2017, and it's still getting all of these new features, which is insane. And of course, the biggest one is that my car freaking drives itself now. So I put a video with my first impressions and first couple of drives up, so you can check that out. But quick little update here. So I've had FSD beta now for less than a week. It's only been, what is it, like 5 days or so? Yeah, 5 or 6 days. And every time that I get in it, I understand the system more and more, and I get more comfortable with it, and it seems to be performing better and better. So yeah, this morning I went from my apartment up to H Mart to get some stuff there. Then from H Mart I went to the Aldi grocery store and then home. And for all 3 drives, there were no disengagements. The only intervention I had was at one point we were near something and I had to press the accelerator. I think some railroad tracks or something. Oh no, that was a different night. Yeah, I think maybe this morning then we had absolutely 0 interventions and disengagements on those 3 drives. Wow, that's crazy. Man. Yeah, it's just, I'm blown away. I can't believe that my car is doing that 5 years after it was built. It's crazy. So yeah, huge achievement by Tesla. It's a AI team and the autopilot team. Great job, guys. And I'm really looking forward to seeing it go to the next level with version 11 and beyond. So yeah, really, really stoked. It is awesome. Wow. So that's it for today. Hope you liked the video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you'd like to support the channel, do consider subscribing, and also check out my links in the description below, referral links. See if they're useful to you. If they are, great. If not, then whatever. But anyway, thanks very much for watching, and I will see you in the next video.